You better prep your panties because the boys at Comics and Kaijus are back at it again. Episode 15. 14? No,
14.
15. 15.
Is it 15?
Typo. It is a typo. Episode 15. Rocking it with the boys, Austin Albin and the Double Chin Gaijin. How are you guys doing?
Yo, we are vibing. I'm glad to have us back at full strength. It has been a minute since the boys were back in town, and we are back at full strength. My goodness, it feels glorious.
Absolutely.
Greetings,
Double Chin
Earthlings.
Gaijin.
Greetings, Earthlings. I am
Cam,
your glorious leader.
My boy is going full heat, and I respect it so fucking much.
He is going full heat.
I've been doing pretty good, man. Lost 22 pounds since the beginning of the year. Doing good.
Absolutely.
That's my boy. That is my boy. I am so proud.
Congratulations, bro.
Going for another 20. Let's go for another 20.
Let's go, dude.
Hey, you got it.
Mom got her test results back. She had a lump on her breast, and it's negative. So we're good with that.
Awesome, man. That's good to hear.
Amazing to hear.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
It's amazing to hear, bro. Austin, how you been doing, man?
Hey, we've been doing good, man. We been enjoying life, loving life. We discovering new things every day. My Disney vacation's getting ever so closer, so I'm getting ever more anxious each day. So I actually recently started planning it a bit more. You know, I've already got it, booked and all that. We just got to start paying for it, but I am super hyped about that. Other than that, man, work has been a new adventure each day, getting new responsibilities, meaning getting new things to do. It's been interesting, and things are getting good. I'm still hitting gyms, still hitting new PRs. So I'm super proud of Cameron and his shit, man. That hits home.
Absolutely, brother.
As an ex-big boy, I know how that is. When you want to cut that shit sucks.
Yeah.
But when you see those results, it feels amazing. So, hey, shout out to you, Cam. I'm proud of you.
Absolutely,
Thanks,
bro.
man.
Congrats.
Thanks.
But hey, Matt, back at you, my man. What's life been?
Dude, I've been vibing. All right. So I've been out of work for like a solid week because that winter storm hit. Kind of sucks on the lack of work. But on the bright side, I got to vibe with the boys, you and me, playing some Fortnite, playing some other video games. Just kind of vibing, feeling the way it's going.
Hey, we let's just all we gotta say, people, is that you may not like Fortnite, you may hate it, but you boys cracked at it.
Oh my god.
Cracked at it, my guy.
Call us all Justin, because we be cracked at Fortnite.
Cracked.
Correct. Oh, John giving us that greeting. What's up, you deliciously moist moth pussies? Woo!
John knows
How
what's
you
up.
doing,
He
John?
knows his people. What's up, man?
Nice to see you joining us, man. Anyway, let's get right into this, man. Invasion of the Astro Monster. I'm gonna pass this to Austin. Take it over, man.
Man, this is a golden nugget in the Showa era and the Godzilla timeline. And I've got to say, out of all of the Godzilla films, Invasion of Astro Monster really set an epitome for the rest of the Showa era films. The movie beautifully encapsulates the wonderful monster destructions with the joy of alien invasions and alien technology. It puts the wackiness of the 70s Showa era into full swing, but it does it in such a good way to where finally we have a sequence of where the human side of the Showa era films was not boring. It was usually what we always had in these Showa films was you would always just be waiting for the kaijus to come in to do something to make it fun and entertaining. But in this film, we finally get a taste of the human side of the film being entertaining and being something that's enjoyable to watch, making not only just watching the human side of it entertaining, but it makes the monster side of it just as entertaining, if not more so. But I do have to try and figure out, there's a lot of things that we see different in this film, and a lot of things have changed. But I'm really not the person to be asking about these deep dives. I'm going to have to pass that to the Double Chin. Give me some of that history, my guy.
Yeah, so this film is a co-production between an American studio, UPA Productions of America, and Toho, which explains the reason why we have an American lead, Nick Adams. Nick Adams, he brings a certain American Chad swagger to this film. He really livens things up. He has this great relationship with Akira Takarada, and according to Akira Takarada, they were actually close friends behind, like, off screen. It's not like it was some surface level thing just for the film. So it feels more, it feels real. It feels like they have a deep connection.
I was gonna say I could definitely feel the energy between those two, even though like the barrier between them probably was a bit difficult because of language barriers. It felt like the energy between the two felt very natural. It felt very core, as they weren't. It didn't feel forced. It didn't feel like these two were acting. It felt more like it was not only a sense of acting because of the characters they were, but also as individual people. They felt very close and felt more natural and organic.
Yeah, definitely. A couple things to note. So the literal Japanese translation for this film is The Great Monster War. That was the 1965 title. And then it was called Monster Zero when it was released 5 years later in the United States. It was called Invasion of the Astro Monster, I think, from home video releases and DVDs, and it's just kind of stuck to that. If you go look up online, there's like at least a couple dozen different titles for this movie. Again, directed by Ishiro Honda, back at it again, at the helm.
Making bangers, man.
Again, produced by Tomoyuki Tanaka. We also have Akira Takarada playing Astronaut Fuji, and Nick Adams is Astronaut Glenn. He does not have a last name. It's just Glenn. So,
it's just Glenn.
And
Like
then we have just Glenn. just Glenn.
Just Glenn.
And we also have Kumi Mizuno as the beautiful Miss Namikawa. You will see her a few more times in some later Godzilla films, and I think you will also see her in I think maybe one or two Heisei films and a couple Millennium films. I know she's definitely in a couple Millennium films. Keiko Sawai, I think I said that right. I probably butchered that. She plays Fuji's sister, who is engaged with Tetsuo Tori. He's the inventor, who's played by Akira Kubo. And then you have Yoshio. This is gonna be a little hard.
Come on, you got it. Come on,
I got this.
You got this.
You got it. You got it.
Channel your inner weeb.
You got it.
Tsuchiya is the controller of Planet X.
Okay.
And Jun Tasaki is Dr. Sakurai. He is the one who's in charge of the World Space Agency in this. Once again, Hiro Nakajima in the suit of Godzilla. Masaki Shinohara is Rodan, and Shoji Hirose is King Ghidorah, reprising his role from the last one. Music is again by Akira Fukube, and I think in this one, I love this because you have a lot of very classic Godzilla songs that come out of this film. They stick very well. The JSDF marches during the attacks with Godzilla, Rodan, and Ghidorah. Then you also have Hajime Kuzumi is in control of cinematography. Distributed by Toho and Marin Films. Marin Films distributed in the United States.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. There isn't. What's cool about this one is it's not like with a lot of the other Godzilla films when it's released in the United States, they butcher it and they cut it up into lots of pieces and they cut a whole bunch of stuff out and they re-edit things. And there's not a lot of differences. There's only a 2-minute difference. So
between the American and the Japanese film?
Yes. So you pretty much keep everything there. With the American version, you have Nick Adams undubbed. He speaks American while everyone else speaks Japanese. I like that version better because I think Nick Adams just brings a certain charm to this film, and it doesn't. I watched the Japanese dub where the Japanese all speak, their native language, and they dub over Nick Adams, and it just doesn't feel the same. It doesn't work. That's all up to personal preference. There's no real
personal interpretation comes in.
Yeah, there's no real difference between the two films.
But Nick Adams really does bring a certain charm to this film that, like you said, you even told me that prior to us watching this. Now, I've seen this film prior, but this was when I was younger. I haven't seen this film in recent time. And then, you were saying about Nick Adams bringing a charm to the film. I was thinking, it's just a little. I was thinking almost of I'm skipping names. Old boy from Godzilla King of the Monsters, like the OG King of the Monsters American redub.
Oh, Raymond Burr.
Raymond Burr. That's who I was thinking of like maybe a Raymond Burr-esque style charm, but this was a different level of charm. Raymond Burr brought a very, very serious tone to the film. This Nick Adams brought way more of like a New York kind of Bronx style, American grit to it that
American
was a little
toughness.
more exactly. That's like the scene we were talking about where they got out of the prison. It's like everyone else, they're like using the little sound wave to go over there, and then Nick Adams just beats the shit out of the alien instead of like using the sound thing to quiet him down. He beats the shit out of him, and it's like, that's pretty American.
And he also is the one who he has a relationship with Miss Namikawa in this, and he like woos her over, and she turns out to be an alien, one of the Xilians.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically turns her over, bringing sympathy, and she doesn't want to take over the world. She wants to fall in love. What the fuck? She wants to fall in love with. Sorry, but
the aliens are contacting him.
Yeah,
it's because he's wearing the sweet shade.
They're coming back.
Yeah, she basically falls in love with Nick Adams or Glenn, and wants them to be married, and doesn't want Glenn to fight back and just let it happen, so that they can be together. But Glenn doesn't want any part of that, and he wants Earth to be free, and he doesn't like the idea of being ruled by someone.
True American freedom right there, boys.
Fuck yeah.
True American fucking freedom. I've definitely got to say that this film, as far as like down the line of the Showa era, like we've definitely evolved quite a bit from what we've seen in the original terminology of the Showa films. We go from seeing the Showa films in more of a wacky, goofy sense. We go from Godzilla, the original Gojira in 54 being a very serious tone film. It is not meant to be played in any sort of sense of a laugh or a joke. It is a very serious film that takes itself in a very serious light. Then we go from that to Raids Again to getting a monster fighting film. Then we go to Mothra, where it's still got a very big serious tone to it. We get to Godzilla versus Kong, my boys, and they have their fight, and it seems like a little bit more. It's starting to get a little bit more lackadaisious. At that point, you're starting to see the lackadaisicness coming and a little more, goofiness to the situation. Not so much to where it takes away from the importance of the film, but it does add that little injection of the future of the Showa series to come. Then we jump over to Godzilla. What did we watch after King Kong versus Zilla? Destroy. That was no, not Destroy All Monsters.
It was not Invasion Astro Monster.
It was Ghidorah. It was Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. Yeah, Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. That's where we start to see Godzilla. Like me and you said, that's where Godzilla's transition from like the good guy to the anti-hero starts to really get shown. That starts becoming more predominant.
This is the film. I guess you could kind of count it as a transition film if you wanted to, but this, I believe, is where Godzilla has become, protector of the Earth at this point. And it only just kind of like falls down from there. It either falls down depending on how you are, or it goes up. And I believe they should have kept the serious role for Godzilla.
Me too.
But we got some cool films out of it. Next film after this is Ebero Horror of the Deep. He's still like
I cannot wait. It is such a shit film, but I love it. I love it so much. Godzilla fights a fucking lobster. It's so hype.
in the next one, it's weird. He's kind of a good guy, but like people are still afraid of him.
What's fucking lizard? I'd be afraid of that too.
I feel like he was just describing his own Tinder profile there. He's kind of a good guy, but everybody's afraid of him.
Another cool thing to note about this film is this is the first Godzilla film to introduce the whole aliens using mind-controlled monsters to take over the Earth plot, which we will see.
Not the last time either.
We will see this quite a few more times. later on in the Showa series. Also, a couple things to note. New Godzilla suit. I like it. It's the Daisenso Goji suit, which is the name that a lot of Godzilla fans gave to this version. You will see this one later on in Ebirah Horror of the Deep, and then you will see it a lot more in later Godzilla films for water scenes. I don't know why they would use that one specifically. Why not just use the new suits that they use in those other films? Also, Ghidorah's necks were extended for this one, just to add a little bit more movement. It's not really noticeable, but I think it brings a little bit more life to the heads.
I gotta say that this Goji suit, in all honesty, it's honestly probably one of the more like core designs for Godzilla. A lot of the other designs we see here moving forward, and especially in the Showa era, branch from this. You can see a lot of the similarities from this Goji design comparison to the others, because if you look from like Godzilla, the original Gojira, all the way till like Godzilla versus Kong, that those suits are pretty drastically different. And then we get to this one, this Goji, in all honesty, looking forward and moving forward, these suits kind of all seem to carry the same body style characteristic, but the face is changed. And I'm pretty sure we see this Goji suit again in Ebirah, correct?
Yes, this will also be the primary suit in Ebirah Horror of the Deep.
Yeah, that's what I figured, because I remember that the one in Ebirah, it's a bit scuffed looking at that point. It was a little beat up.
Yeah, it's a little beat up. Yes, the primary suits that I know from the Showa series are the very first one. That's a given. The King Goji suit. I don't really count. I don't really like that one. I kind of forget about that. No one
counts Raids again. No one counts that.
The King Goji suit. Then you have the Masu Goji suit, which it's modified in Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, but it's still the base design from Mothra versus Godzilla. And then you have this version, and then you have the Destroy All Monsters suit, which will be in that Godzilla versus Hedorah, Godzilla versus Gigan, and then you also have the suit from Godzilla versus Megalon all the way to Terra Mecha Godzilla. Those are like the core Showa era suits that I'm sure most people remember.
And that's a good lineage of suits. In all honesty, they're classics that are easily recognizable. And you honestly, especially someone like me who has seen all the films, you can tell me which one of these suits, where they are. Like, you can show me a picture. I can immediately correlate what movie they're from.
And then you have the Son of Godzilla suit, which is a disgusting looking suit, which we'll get to later.
I'm not ready to review that film, because like it's a nice film.
That was one of my the film. It's either one of the best or it's one of the worst. I like it. I like it.
Look, it's a nice film. It is a nice film, and I'm saying that politely because it is a nice film. You love it, and
now get prepared, because Austin's about to say you're fucking wrong.
Look, look, homie. Now look. I'm not going to gatekeep you. If you want to love that, you can love that. I am all for it. You love that, and I respect you for it. But that Godzilla suit is straight donkey shit. I'm sorry. It is. It looks so bad. He looks like a frog. Like, he looks like a super scuffed frog. And I'm sorry. To me, that's not Godzilla. That's like some weird bastard child of Godzilla. But the movie itself, Son of Godzilla, is a wonderful message. It is a wonderful film that if you watch it, it has a lot of meaning, and the ending is very poetic and beautiful. So I give it its credit where credit's due, but Godzilla looks like ass in that film. So I am sorry.
No. Also, Mothra. Where the fuck is she?
She is completely glossed over in this film, as this is a direct sequel from the film prior.
The Xilian controller, he even completely like fucking just overlooks that fact. He's like, yeah, Ghidorah was driven away from Earth by Godzilla and Rodan, and I'm like,
let's just use them.
It's not like Mothra helped at all, but like, okay.
No, let's be real. Mothra got Mike Wazowski'd hard in this film. Mothra got Mike Wazowski'd hard.
I believe the reason why Mothra was not in this is for budgetary restraints.
Oh yeah,
Which
that's pretty blatant.
I mean, yeah, and then to be honest, the Mothra larva suit was looking kind of
Looking super scuffed.
super scuffed. Also, I have some tea for you guys.
You got some tea?
Yes. I'm pretty sure you guys know this already, but Kumi Mizuno and Nick Adams had an off-screen affair. Apparently,
I mean, you only bring it up every time we've talked about this movie leading up to this episode, but you know.
Go fuck yourself.
Hey, I'm still excited.
His man's like, but they fucked.
But they fucked though. They fucked though.
Yeah, Nick Adams, he stayed in Japan for quite a while after this film was completed. So Kumi Mizuno denies that they ever had an affair or any sort of relationship, but she did admit that she was attracted to him and that he was attracted to her. That's
like
also
no, but I would.
No, but I would though.
Also, maybe this is also the reason why Nick Adams and his wife got a divorce.
Ooh.
It was probably because of this.
This is all funny. Yeah, they got in a divorce. Why you gotta bring the mood down?
I'm sorry, man.
Why you gotta just bring reality into it? Let us have the meme for fuck's sake.
It's a burden to hold all the facts of these movies. Isn't that right, Double Chin?
Double Chin over here acting like fucking Thanos here.
It's like, also it's a shame he kind of
hardest decisions require the strongest wills.
He was supposedly addicted to drugs and he passed away. I'm also bringing it down a lot deeper. He passed away.
We're not laughing at the fact he died. We're laughing at a Thanos meme, for God's sake.
We're saying that meme where he's like, I've lost more than you will ever know.
Cameron's down here all like, he passed away due to complications. We're
like,
balanced in every way, Thanos. We're fucking laughing. And Cameron's down there reading an obituary. Like, fuck.
It's just poor timing on that one. Anyway, back to depressing news. Double Chin Kaijus.
Yeah, he passed away 3 years after this movie was made or released, which is a shame. He passed. I'm pretty sure it was due to a drug overdose.
Damn.
Which fucking sucks. Yo, TJ.
Yo, TJ. What's up, homie?
TJ checking out our episode. Let's go.
It's a banger so far, my guy. I gotta say that, like, another thing that I really pointed out that I enjoyed about the film, they really like upped the ante with like the lightning effects. Usually, like with Ghidorah's lightning, especially in the film prior, Ghidorah would just shoot lightning. It would run a strand, and then it was like they just had black cats on, like, black cat fireworks in a string and a line, and they just lit it, and it just and it blew up. In this film, it really felt like every time any lightning or laser attack was used, even from like the aliens all the way to Ghidorah himself, the lightning was just, it felt way more impactful. It felt way more of way more of a burst was happening instead of it just kind of feeling like a firecracker going off. Like, especially I was really impressed with like the aliens when they were like doing the outline for things, like when they carved Rodan out of the mountain. That was really dope. Like they blew that up in a certain symmetry to where they would pull him out easily, and it was totally cool to see them like do the laser beam to like beep, and then it would blow up, and then Rodan perfectly fit out.
It was really cool effects. Like, I was not expecting this from a movie that came out in '65. Like, the laser effects were straight up. Also, we got a few comments. TJ
Cameron's getting
sliding in a bit of a spoiler though, real quick. Next episode, Pacific Rim Uprising and G.I. Joe Real American Hero, featuring the one, the only TJ Bowser joining our asses. And
he's got to come join the G.I. Joe shit, my guy.
He's got to, bro. Are you kidding me? And miss a Snake Eyes special? And then we got
that.
And then
what is over your eyes, my guy?
What is it?
Dude, what is it, man? Like, you got that Star Trek thing going on? Like, what's going on, bro?
Explain the drip, my guy.
Explain the drip. Because we got
for
wannabe
those
Eminem up here, we got Trekkie, and we got Top Gun. What the fuck is going on with you?
So for those who have not seen the movie,
That's an awfully hot coffee pot.
Awfully hot coffee pot.
so for those who have not seen the movie, the design for the Xiliens is so bizarre, but it's so cool. They have these really weird visors that they wear over their eyes, these thin visors like this that they wear over their eyes, and then they have a black hood with like an antenna sticking out, and they wear these like latex gray and black suits and these elf shoes that are curled. It's really weird, but it's a very memorable look.
It's a drip you wouldn't understand.
You wouldn't understand because it's not fashionable yet.
Respect the drip, Karen.
Respect the drip, Karen. This film definitely had a lot of interesting ups and downs with it. It had a lot of interesting design choices. It had some really awesome effects. You know, Cameron explained to everybody, you know, here about the suits and the changes they've made. And, you know, the film in and of itself did a fairly good job. Box office wise, it did good. It made its money back easily.
I do have one complaint though. As you guys pointed out while we were in the watch party, instead of creating new scenes in certain areas where there could have been like a lot of extra like destructions and fighting and whatnot, they were using scenes already showed in previous movies. And I feel like in my opinion, that was a smidge lazy.
So you have to be like a keen-eyed like Godzilla nerd to like catch that. It's if you're watching it for your first time, you're not going to notice it.
If you haven't seen the other movies, you won't notice it. Yeah,
you won't notice it.
Because it is very cleanly meshed in. But I still just kind of feel like they could have done new destruction scenes.
For you, we recently saw Rodan, as in within the past 6 months. So for you, that's still kind of fresh on the brain.
True.
So for you to be able to point that out yourself without us saying anything shows that it is noticeable for someone who had seen it recently. But these films came out years apart.
And like I said, that's one of my only complaints about this movie, other than the fact that it was a little heavy on the human drama. I wanted to see Monster go burr and fight, but it was a little heavy on the human drama. Don't get me wrong, the human drama was very enticing. It was very cool. It was a brave new concept compared to what we've seen in the past, where it's a lot of fighting with a little bit of politics in the background. This one was full blown, like Earth is getting invaded, plus there's monsters fighting. But quick reminder, Earth is getting invaded, you know?
Yeah, it's not just monsters, there's way more at stake.
And it was nice, but at the same time, I wish there was a little more monster fighting scenes.
Yeah, I can see that. I do think it's worth it in the end, where you have all these really cool destruction scenes, and then the humans break the mind control over the monsters, and then they start fighting. It pays off in the end, in my opinion. For some people, it can be quite slow. But I think with the added human drama and the good character development between all of them and their relationship with each other, I think it helps, keep you hooked into the story and the film. It's not like you're like, oh fuck, when is Godzilla coming? You're like, wow, this is pretty intense.
It is very great filler. Don't get me wrong. Like if you're a very passionate like kaiju universe fan and you're like big into these movies and stuff, you'll love like the kind of lore that's established with Planet X and everything else going on. You're welcome, Austin. But if you just want to watch this movie for monster fights and monster fights only, check out one of the other movies. But this one is great for establishing lore. It has really nice fight scenes between Ghidorah, Rodan, and of course Godzilla at the very end, which I enjoyed.
So we should also talk about why they're invading Earth. It's not like, well, fuck that planet. It's basically humans discover that Jupiter has a new planet. They call it Planet X, but it's a moon. It's one of Jupiter's moons. And it's kind of a really funny way how they're like, why haven't we discovered this planet earlier? And they're like, oh, well.
Shit's dark, yo.
Planet X is really dark. And I'm like, really? That's an excuse you're going to give?
Shit's dark, yo. We can't see shit.
They explain that they can't see it with the telescopes, but they found it using electromagnetic waves. So I'm like, whatever, fine. And it's weird because this is like an alternate version of like 1965 where we're so advanced in terms of space technology that we can just like send two dudes all the way to fucking Jupiter, in a single like engine rocket and just like, fuck it, whatever.
Fuck it. Do it live.
Yeah, but overlooking that, they get to Planet X and they discover an advanced race of aliens called the Xiliens. And they explain that they're always under attack by Ghidorah, who they've nicknamed Monster Zero. They name everything there using numbers. And they explain that they also that water is more valuable than gold. And Glenn and Fuji, they find out that they have completely ran out of water on their planet. And they have to extract it like hydrogen from the air. So they plan to take Godzilla and Rodan, borrow them to defeat Ghidorah, and then in return, they give humanity. In the Japanese version, it's the cure for cancer. In the American version, it's the cure for all known diseases. I like the American version. I think it's a bit more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? It's more of a groundbreaking feat. And they leave Godzilla and Rodan there because they're like, oh, we'll take them off your hands so they don't cause you any more shit in the future. Little did they know that they were going to take them and use them for mind control, and they want to enslave Earth and use up all their resources. And if they don't, they unleash Monster Zero, Godzilla, and Rodan onto Earth and destroy everyone. And that's the basic plot.
Yeah, it's a good plot rundown, and honestly, it's a good plot, and it has a lot of deception, which I really enjoyed. The film was way more. I was happy to see that when watching this film again now that I am a bit on the older side since the last time I saw it, I'm able to really dissect the plot a little bit more. If you really look at it, the plot really does have it has a good twist of the Xiliens' betrayal. And you think this is too good to be true. It kind of puts you on your toes a little bit. You don't really know what to think. And that's what makes that's what makes the human side so interesting, that we're finally kind of getting a human plot side that makes it a bit more interesting to watch instead of just wanting monsters all the time. We're seeing more twists, more turns, more explosions and excitement from the human side of it. And you'll see further in the Showa era that the human side starts becoming more prevalent because it starts becoming more entertaining as the films go forward. But that's also, with time, the films obviously got better. But there are also some where they started to cheap out and the human side of stuff was not enough to compensate for the lack of money spent on the kaiju portion of the film.
Mm-hmm.
But the film made its money back. It did a good job at box office,
they
both
made
locally and internationally.
They made looks to be, I think, $700,000 more.
Yeah, I think so.
Which is pretty good. I mean, for the time, that's pretty freaking good.
Yeah, very much so.
It's not groundbreaking. They wanted it to do better. They expected it to do better, which it didn't. And this is when you start to see the drop in quality.
Yeah.
After this, it drops.
This is honestly a pretty pivotal point in the Godzilla Showa era, because this was kind of like their last real pump of life into the series before the films started to really decline, and they suddenly started to lose these funds, and with the lack of this money getting brought in, they were starting to lose funds left and right. So they were having to recycle, they were having to reuse, and they were having to use footage from other films in order to make these films go forward. So it's we want to keep the Godzilla spirit alive. We want to keep the films going, and we want to keep the action going, but they didn't have the funds to make the same sort of action they did back in the early days when they were easily making their money back.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm correct, I could be wrong. I believe this is Ishiro Honda's last film as director. I think he's a producer. He's still there for the later Godzilla films, but I think this is the last one he directs for a while, and I think he comes back for Destroy All Monsters. I'm not too sure about the technicals of that, but I do know that Son of Godzilla was directed by another guy, and I believe Eberhard the Deep is by another person as well.
Yeah, I think so. Quick shout out to Freddie. Gotta love the classics. I agree, and that I see you. I see you, cuz. Thanks for joining me, cuz. Hope you're enjoying the show, my man. It's I gotta say this film is fun. I can't deny that it's a fun film. I think it's about time to give it the kaiju stamp of approval. Let's get ourselves on the round table here.
Godzilla eggs. What do you guys think of this? 1 to 10.
Godzilla eggs.
Take it away.
This film, in my mind, is Showa era 101. It has a out of this world human side that's really trippy and different, but it's engaging and it really makes you want to know more about it. The kaiju action, good. It's solid. There's nothing wrong with it. It's good action. The Rodan stock footage getting reshown to the trained eye is a bit of a bop on the nose and makes you really lose a bit of, it can knock a mark down. The destruction has been improved with the laser effects, the lightning effects, the overall kaiju wrestling has gotten a bit more advanced and a bit better. Now, I will say, because we watched the Criterion remaster, fuck me, Criterion remastered it too well. And they made it to where you can literally see every string on everything, which is, it's to be, what it is.
It kind of breaks immersion.
It breaks immersion, it does. But back in the VH days, you never saw that. So it was just like, oh well, this is what you get for getting better quality. You're gonna see them. You're gonna see the things they worked so hard to hide. So for me, the film ticks a lot of boxes. It doesn't really tick very many negative boxes, but I can definitely say, watching this again, I am going to deduct some points off because of the stock reuse footage. I will deduct some points because I did feel like the human side of it, like Matt said, it did dredge a little longer than what I would have anticipated, what I personally prefer. I prefer a good balance between the two. I think Mechagodzilla is where they found that stride. I don't feel like it was found here. I feel like this was a testing ground to, really engage on more of a human side instead of having just humans, then boom, kaiju, humans, then boom, kaiju, and then things changed. This was a way to give the kaiju film formula a bit of a shakeup. I think it was a good first run. It was a good test. And out of 10, I'm going to give it a solid 8. It is Showa 101 gold that if you want to show anybody what is the Godzilla Showa era about, you can pick a lot of films. But if you pick this one is the perfect encapsulation of the later version, Godzilla, savior of the earth, and the earlier version, seriousness of the human side of things. It's a good blend of the two that you mash them together, shake them up, and you throw it out, and you get Invasion of Astro Monster. So 8 out of 10 for me. Double chin, Gaijin. What is your blessing?
Well, I think the special effects are phenomenal in this. They're not like groundbreaking. They still, don't hold the test of time. But it's just enough cheese. Just enough cheese.
Enough cheddar.
Just enough cheddar. I think the alien invasion plot worked very well with this, and the other films that try to reproduce this plot, it shows that they struck gold on this one, and it doesn't work for any other times. I like the aliens. I like their design. I like Nick Adams. I like Akira Takarada. I love their friendship. I like how real it feels. I believe, like you said, Austin, this is like, if I were to show any Godzilla film from the Showa era, this would be it. It's my top 5, one of my top 5 favorite Godzilla films of all time. I'm going to give it a solid 9 out of 10.
That's very high praise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna knock this one down. All right, it was interesting. Like I said, the editing was very well done. the meshing between the old footage, it was nice in there. Like it felt smooth. It wasn't rough edited in there. But at the same time, I do feel like it was just plain lazy on their part to reuse old footage that worked instead of making new footage for a movie that was supposed to be so groundbreaking that it was, as Austin said, shaking up the entire formula for the kaiju movie theme. You know, you're introducing more human drama, which means you should be able to create new monster fight scenes because you're creating so much new human drama. It shouldn't be out of the picture. It's not like you were half-assing the human drama part. Why would you half-ass the monster destruction part? And, you know, as Austin was saying in the Double Chin Gaijin, these special effects I felt were nice. I liked the lasers. I liked just the effects of like the electricity. It felt good, especially looking at this as a movie that came out in 1965. I felt this movie had a lot of really solid points. The friendship, the special effects, the editing. But it just felt lackluster. There wasn't a lot of monster fighting. There was a little bit of destruction. And there's a lot of reused footage. And for that, I'm hitting it hard with a 4.
Wow.
I'm hitting it hard.
Hey, I respect it.
I really don't like... I wasn't really a huge fan of this one. I liked Ghidorah.
We can't be friends.
I love that they brought Ghidorah back. All right? I loved that they brought Ghidorah back. But man, they gave Godzilla a new suit. Yeah. Okay, if you're giving him a new suit, why not do new footage? Why not show off the new suit? I mean,
if he's giving this a 4, to be honest, if he's giving this a 4 out of 10 right now, God forbid when we get to Godzilla's Revenge.
I'm just saying. If they're gonna go lazy and redo it, I'm gonna hit them hard. All right.
Wait till you see Ebra. Godzilla goes up against a lobster. A lobster, for God's sake, a lobster.
Wait till you get to Godzilla versus Gigan. That's a shit.
I respect your guys' opinions. I respect your guys' opinions on this, but I still think you're hitting that with the nostalgia visor on, all right? When you look at this compared to the movie,
he's literally wearing them.
I know.
He's literally wearing them.
He is literally wearing them. But when you look at it from somebody who's fresh into the kaiju thing, just getting deep into the kaiju universe, which, by the way, I'm fucking loving, and you get this, man, I'd rather watch Reptilicus.
You just about killed him. You just about killed him.
I'm done seeing it.
I gotta go take a dump. I'll be back. Oh my goodness, man!
I'm writing.
Jay is grinding him up.
Look,
are you
wanted my honest opinion? You guys wanted my honest opinion on this movie.
Hey.
Okay, it was good on establishing lore and changing up the formula and doing the special effects, but why'd they have to be lazy?
Dude, Double Chin, you gotta let him go. We do not gatekeep in this house. We do not gatekeep, motherfucker. You are not gatekeeping in this house, young man.
You quit that shit.
Hey, I respect that opinion. Look, it is not mine. It is a nice turn of events instead of us just, getting over each one of these. That's fine.
I'm just saying
that's fine.
It's rough.
Hey, that's fine.
I'm not going to lie. If they wouldn't have done such a good job editing, the new suit looked great, and the special effects were great, it'd be at like a 2 or a 1. Oh. Yeah, what's carrying it, Cameron, is the special effects and the editing.
Swoon.
And the semi-decent storytelling.
The amount of bullshit
I am hearing. My God. Cameron's definitely the gatekeeper. I'm the keymaster all day.
Yeah,
I would say no. He's like a power gatekeeper. I at least give him the chance of being a power gatekeeper. Other than that,
all right. So I feel like I broke Cameron, and I've been cutting him off. I've been cutting him off to finish my point. So I'm gonna let Cameron say what he's got to say.
Okay, and keep this civil.
And if he gatekeeps and gets too out of line, I'm just gonna be like, all right, guys, next segment.
Okay, listen. No. Keep it civil. Keep your rebuttal short. We still have a comic. I know you could go 20 years. Yeah. Listen here, you brony. All right, channeling his Nick Adams here. Listen here, you gabagoo. Listen here, pansy.
So, let's just say, I'm guessing our reviews for these films right now are not set in stone. They can change, you know. I guarantee you they're going to change once we get into these shittier films. And you'll be like, wow, you know,
Look.
Invasion of the Astro Monster wasn't actually that bad.
That wasn't that bad. Shit.
Well, I'll tell you what. On those later episodes, if my opinion of this pile of shit changes, I will let you know.
Oh, man.
You're going a little hard now, man.
You're seeing you're having to unleash my ultimate form.
honestly, I only called it a pile of shit to see Cameron's reaction. It was a decent movie. Again, 4 out of 10 on it. It was decent. It was just lazy.
Gotta respect a different opinion.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to like respect the difference in opinion. I don't really gatekeep in terms of the Godzilla film.
Right after gatekeeping.
Yes, sir.
I don't really gatekeep.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna be gatekeeping, but
I'm not gonna be gatekeeping.
I'm not gonna gatekeep, but gate.
But
I'm just saying. Give your quick rebuttal. You deserve to give the quick rebuttal. Give it.
Yeah,
Give it, bro,
you know, it's your opinion, you know. I'm not gonna be like you're fucking wrong, but you're wrong. But
you know, my opinion to you stays the same. Also, you're fucking wrong.
So, I mean, once we get through these other shitty films, I'm sure things will change. My favorite Godzilla films bounce around all the time. It's never going to be like a set in stone thing. Or maybe it will. Who knows? But if I'm bringing someone who, with the whole new MonsterVerse that's happening, and they're like, hey, I want to get into the classics. I want to know what this is all about. You know, I would say start from the first one and go from there. If you like sci-fi, go to this one. If you want a little bit of good human interaction, I would also say this one as well. If you like lasers and you like beam attacks and you like a little bit something with a little bit more edge, I would say go with the Heisei trilogy or the Heisei series. I'm thinking Gamera. If you want something a bit more modern, go with the Millennium. If you want something more political, the original and Shin Gojira. If you want something with a little bit of like an island twist, Ebra and Son of Godzilla.
I'm sorry, that's stupid ass.
There's very few things. I'm not gonna be like, well, you're fucking wrong with that opinion.
You know, he keeps going back to that, so I feel like he's really thinking that.
Oh shit, Cam. Oh shit. Oh shit, Matt Shue coming out here saying I don't know shit about monsters. I'm here to see that. Just look at Cameron's handsome face. Oh fuck. Woo.
I'm telling you, him with that visor, it's got me acting funny.
It's got me acting a bit weird.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll respect that opinion. I've never heard anyone give this movie that low of a rating before, so it's kind of a shock.
Hey, we respect all the opinions here. Hey, they're different. We have people who love them. We have people who hate them. We have some people with nostalgia goggles. Some people who don't. Just
some
like
who literally do. Sorry, literally.
But I guarantee you, your opinion's gonna fucking change hard and fast once Godzilla's Revenge comes up. You're gonna be like, "What the fuck are we watching?"
Change you hard.
You know, that's reasonable.
I've yet to finish that.
That's reasonable. But on to our little commercial break. Austin, didn't you get something new?
I did.
From a certain sponsor?
I gotta give a quick shout out to the boys over at Symbiote Collectibles. Our boy Cameron hooking me up with some goodies from them. They are honestly your one-stop shop for cards, comics, collectibles, and anything under the sun nerdy that you may be looking for.
Absolutely. And what specifically did you get?
Oh my god! I struck gold.
You struck gold.
I struck an original Django Fett, looking all sorts of yummy in his boxaroni. It's still sealed, looking pretty, looking juicy. Let me kind of dim some of the shading here.
Let me tell you, I am jealous.
I mean, look at this thing, dude. Look, the box is like the craziest portion. He's got all these different accessories, different sorts of stuff that you can get on his, like all on his different like jetpacks, articulations. Then you can do this little number here on this side, change it here, get all that good stuff. Like, holy shit, I can't even hold the box with how much stuff this thing has. It's actually incredible. Like, look at that. That's insane.
It looks absolutely amazing. And where did you get that at again?
Once again, got it from Symbiote Collectibles right here. They are on Facebook and every other source of social media. Hit them up, guys. If you're wanting something nice, something collectible, cards, comics, or anything old and retro you looking for, shoot your shot. Give them a DM. Drop them, see what they have.
Yeah, drop by. They're down here in Reading, Pennsylvania.
Yup. Trust me. I did not think I would find something like this anywhere. I get a text from Cameron at like 2:00 on Saturday, be like, "Aren't you still looking for Boba Fett shit?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He sends me a picture of this, and I'm like, "No way! How much is that? It's got to be like $100 something. It got to be like $100 something bucks. $50. $50 for gold, people. $50 for gold, and they wanted to got me a little sticker. Got me a little sticker and a little pin to rep them. Trust me."
But my only complaint with this is, why weren't you wearing the pin in your M&M hat, bro?
Fuck.
And while he's changing it, of course, ladies and gentlemen, check out projectlouder.net. Give all of our other boys some views. Check out some merch. You want some Gimme the Sauce comic and Kaiju merch?
Shut up!
So while Austin is hurting himself, check
me.
out our merch tab. It is on TeePublic on the projectlouder.net website. Check us out, man. Get you some Gimme the Sauce merch. Comics and Kaijus, we got you.
I also picked something up too when I was down there.
I did. What was it, bro? What was it? I'll put you up on the big screen, bro.
Oh, hell yeah. It's this vintage Leopardon mech from the Toei Spider-Man series from the 70s. It's all die-cast. It's got some heft to it.
So it's like all metal? It's a full metal die-cast?
Yeah, the entire torso is metal. I think the legs are plastic. The feet are plastic as well. But the head...
Yeah, still a die-cast. That's badass.
Yeah, they had two
I am wearing pants, wearing shorts. Got on shorts. I have pants. I have decency.
I have decency.
I don't.
I do not.
I don't. Yeah, they had this little guy sitting there with a bunch of other mechs. There was like a toy series that they released a bunch of these little mechs from other TV. Yeah, from other TV shows. They had this one in a box still. But it was like $100 some bucks, and I didn't have the cash for it at the time. So I got the one that was loose out of the box. I like it. It's a cool little piece to sit on the desk. Oh, geez, thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
John saying, "Yeah, Cam with the winky face. Let's go."
Oh shit.
I also not in yet. It'll be here in March. It'll be a surprise. I pre-ordered the new X Plus 1956 Rodan 30 centimeter figure.
Oh shit!
Cost me a pretty penny, but
you pretty penny.
I wanted to get another X Plus figure. I have the 1989 Goji from Godzilla versus Biollante. That's also 30 centimeter by X Plus. And I saw this Rodan. It's my favorite version of Rodan. And I was like, I have to pick this up. I have to pick this up. I'm glad I bit the bullet on it and got it. Now we just got to wait.
Hey, your inspiration for that, biting the bullet, pushed me to do what I wanted. I actually pre-ordered the figure as well. I pre-ordered the brand new Mandalorian Season 2 Boba Fett hot toy from Sideshow. I am so fucking excited for that. I've been wanting to start that hot toys hobby for a hot minute, but I have yet to find the one that was perfect, the one that I wanted, the one, like, the one. And I waited, I looked, and then they announced it, and it was beautiful. And of course, I had to go and get the deluxe. I'm not going to go and buy my
you did get the deluxe.
Yeah. Also found out the deluxe.
No. Okay, so Austin was hitting us up, and I was like, bro, Bro, stop trying to get me to convince you to get the deluxe. You know you're getting the deluxe. You know you're going with the one that's got the 2 figures. Stop kidding
I
yourself.
didn't know it had 2. I thought it was going to be just one figure that you interchange pieces with. And then they come out and they're like, oh, yeah, no, you're getting 2 whole figures for like, half the cost. And I'm like, fuck. I had to do it. I had to.
Absolutely.
Those
Also,
Dune figs.
TJ giving us some high praise. This podcast is deluxe. Thank you, boss. Hope we're doing
Sumimasen.
you proud, bro. We got you.
Grab those Dune figs while supplies last. Yes.
Yeah.
Symbiote Collectibles did have a bunch of vintage Dune figures.
He's talking
I'm not
about
a-
the new ones that have just come out.
Oh,
Yeah, Dune has started releasing figures. I saw them at Target earlier today when I got my
shit,
little
really?
haul of shit that I showed you guys earlier. Yeah, Dune figures are at Target right now. You can go and get them. They're in the
Oh.
NECA section.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
Mhm.
I'm not really a Dune guy. I saw that Symbiote Collectibles a while back. I think 2 weeks ago. They had a bunch of vintage Dune figures from the original movie,
Ooh.
still in the box and everything. They looked clean.
Ooh.
But sadly, I'm not a Dune guy, so
Well, hey, look.
there's a
I'll
market
go
for
ahead.
everyone.
Oh,
You
yeah,
meant-
no, yeah.
Oh.
Cara Dune.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, no, get that shit while you can, homie, because that stuff's about to be, like, worth some cash for sure.
Yeah, Lego figures. And I think there's only one.
Legos, Funkos, Black Series, all
I
that.
think-
Get them
I
while
thi-
you can.
I can see the Lego one being like big bucks because there's only one Lego set that I know of.
Well, same thing
that-
with the Black Series. The Black
Mhm.
Series is because those actually hold their value. Like that
Oh, yeah,
boba
you
I
keep
have,
that
that's
thing
the
in a
Black
box?
Series. Yeah, I have Kylo sitting on the here by my desk. He's a Black Series. These things hold their value pretty heavy, especially if you
Mhm.
keep them boxed. But like, you got to find the right ones because there's some of them, like especially the anniversary figurines, they'll go for a pretty penny, man. Like, honest to goodness, they'll go for high dollar. So if you can find a Cara Dune still in the box, I'd probably hang on to it.
And
Yeah,
then there's
especially-
us who buys all our collectibles and then poses them everywhere instead of
Yeah,
retail
yeah.
value.
Yeah.
Yeah, Austin, look it up like, huh?
yeah, I can see those figures skyrocketing.
Yeah, they are.
And Lego's always had, they're always very expensive.
Yo, TJ, if you got a shit ton of those Black Series, you getting that Black Series Jar Jar, my guy? They announced Black Series. They announced
No, they
Black Series
didn't.
Jar. Yes, they did.
Oh my
Black
God.
Series Jar Jar Binks. Hell yeah.
I'm not gonna lie though, I'm looking at that Black Series Dark Saber that's coming out. And with me thinking about getting a full-blown Mando cosplay going on, bro.
About to make me act up.
Whoo! If I had the Dark Saber to complete that.
Oh, you saw
grip-
one out wild? No, you didn't. Where at? Target? I didn't think they were out yet. Are they out?
I didn't think they were out yet already.
Yeah, I thought the Dark Sabers weren't out yet. Or is he
No,
talking?
I think
knew-
he's talking
I
about
know-
the
I think,
Jar
I think he's
Jar.
talking about the Cara Dune.
Oh. Because
Black
I know
Series.
that there's another Dark Saber toy that's out already, but it's not like a high quality thing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
This is like quality collector's piece.
Mhm.
So
Oh shit, the Black Series Jar Jars are out.
Oh
Oh,
shit!
are they?
Yeah,
Oh.
they're available at Target, GameStop, and all other sorts of shit. Also, by the way, yo, I honestly deadass did not know that GameStop actually like low key has a lot of shit there.
Oh, dude, the
Did-
GameStop,
yes.
the GameStop where I live is just full of merch. Like, there's hardly any
Yeah.
games, mostly merch.
I was
great.
not aware they had so much stuff. I was super surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have my GameStop. They have quite a few Black Series stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of
I do too.
of the really expensive Black Series stuff is up on the top shelf.
All the bigger stuff, it's up like all up on those rafters where like all the super collectible stuff used to be.
Yeah, I kind of wish
Yeah.
though that they would have more like NECA and stuff like that. They had quite a few for a while, and then they disappeared.
But hey, if you can't find them at GameStop, you can always find them at Symbiote.
You can.
That's
can.
true.
I'm
That's
telling you,
true.
Discount.
Symbiote-
Get that DK discount.
There you go.
Symbiote Collectibles, they have a lot of Star Wars figures.
I really
They're
need you to
really-
go back and shop for me again because that's
they
just
had They had a really cool Darth Maul figure. It was probably about that big, and he's holding his lightsaber like that. And if you turn his body, the lightsabers would light up. I'm like, oh, that'll be cool. I'll get that next time. It was only $25.
It was only $25. You didn't.
Oh, it's $25.
You didn't hit up.
I didn't have the money at the time.
I don't give a fuck if you didn't have the money. I'll send you I'd wire it to you right there.
I would wire double that right there.
Yeah, but they have a lot of modern, they have a lot of prequel, and then they have a lot of original vintage stuff. They also are really big with Magic the Gathering and Pokemon.
Yeah.
They have a nice little rack of foreign. Darth Maul is the best. He's the best.
I gotta agree. Out of the prequel Sith, Darth Maul's my boy.
Yeah.
Darth
like,
Maul's
look, Dooku is a badass. Dooku is a badass, and I can have that argument all day that he is. But Maul getting chopped in half, homie still survives.
Guys, I have seen Darth Maul through an all new light. So my favorite Star Wars book is Maul Lockdown, where he's at that super prison.
Yes, it's pretty much like a gladiatorium where he has to fight to survive.
It was such
what's bullshit is that's not canon anymore. Because Disney took over, that's in Disney Legends, that's not canon anymore.
Fuck you, Disney.
It's in my head canon. Fuck them. I'm out.
Bingo, baby. Bingo. We keep that shit canon in here. It don't matter.
I'm just saying. That man in that showed so much depth in how much he knew about combat, about manipulation.
Yep.
All without the Force. Just normal base skills. He took down fighter after fighter after fighter, no matter how outmatched he was, without even using the Force. I mean, I'm pretty sure in that one fight, he held his breath for 14 minutes?
I think so. Like, he was able to control his breathing to the point of where, like, he was sitting underwater for minutes at a time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He just had no trouble with it, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'd love to keep diving down this one. Oh, actually, Double Chin Gaijin, you got anything to add? Or
well, I was gonna go on a little adventure today. I was gonna go down to New Jersey to Tinkerbell Toys. They have a lot of older toys, and I saw they had a bunch of Godzilla stuff, and I was like, don't mind if I do. Literally 10 minutes onto the turnpike, I hit something. I have no idea what it was. It was like some clear thing, so I didn't see it till like the last minute. And it blew my tire. And I'm like, are you fucking shitting me? So I went to go change the tire, and I find out that my spare tire is completely flat. I didn't know. So what happened was I was in an accident, I think sometime last year, and the guy rear-ended me, and it must have.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
It must have misaligned. Like, it pushed the tire, the spare tire, and it lost pressure.
That can happen.
I'm like, are you kidding me? So I had to call AAA, and then I had to call the turnpike people, and it was a pain in the freaking ass, man. I didn't go, so I am empty-handed for the weekend.
Oh man,
TJ,
that's true.
His rear end.
True,
honestly, that's true. Kind of thick. Anyway,
your rear end.
Double Chin Kaijin with the double chin dump truck.
Double chin dump truck. Anyway, into the comic segment of our episode today. We are giving you guys some more Tales from the Crypt, hitting it up with the sequel, Volume 2. Last time we hit it with a Volume 1, Austin wasn't there, unfortunately, but now he's here to see the glory that I love, personally, as Tales from the Crypt. It was written by Donald McGregor, art by Steve Mannion. In my opinion, he did a great job. The Double Chin Kaijin himself has some disagreements with some of the art style that was provided. The publisher was Paper Cuts, 98 pages long. It's a nice little quick read. You know, you're sitting on the bus, or you're just waiting. Maybe you're going on a flight and you're just waiting in the room. You're just sitting there with nothing to do. Read this little 98 page, give you a couple hours.
I read it while my pizza was coming. So
exactly. I mean, it's just a little small time filler, and it was enjoyable at that. It was released December 26th, 2007, and let me tell you, I enjoyed the absolute fuck out of this. So Tales from the Crypt for me, as you guys all know, is a very nostalgic thing. I grew up watching Bordello of Blood and Demon Knight, and it really got me into the Tales from the Crypt. At a young age, I had read like one or two random Tales from the Crypt comics. I had never really got deep into the Tales from the Crypt comics. I love the TV show. I have the entire collection sitting in my living room. I watch it late night whenever I'm trying to go to bed. Just watch a few episodes and go straight to bed. You know what I mean? It is a great series, in my opinion. And today we got 4 kind of hit or miss stories. It really just depends on how you look at them. And for the first one, we got A Murdering Idol. Take it away.
Yeah, so plot of this one is there's a bummy looking dude, and his dream is to become a superstar, a rock star. And I believe that's his girlfriend, right? That lives with him.
Yes.
Yeah,
His girlfriend basically shits on him. He's a bum. He doesn't have a job. He acts like he's hot shit. And he goes, at one point he says, I'd kick her out if it wasn't for the fact that she's paying the rent. And I'm like, wow, this guy is really a shithead.
He's kind of a dick.
And he's late to the auditions for, it's basically like American Idol.
Mhm.
He's late for the auditions, and he shows up and they say, oh, auditions are closed for today. Come back tomorrow. And he walking back home, and he stumbles across a book that he finds on the ground, just randomly. It's there.
Mhm.
And it's a demonic. It's weird. They say that the way I read it, it seemed like it was in a different language, and then as he was looking at it, it changed to English.
Mhm. That's how they described it. It was in a language that he didn't know, but the magic
And
in
then
it
suddenly,
was
he
allowing
could
him to read
understand it.
Mhm.
And then he brings it home, and it tells him how it can make all of his dreams come true, but all you need is a sacrifice. And he doesn't want to kill anyone at this point. So he sets a mousetrap up in the sacrifice circle, and boom, mouse gets killed. Demon comes up, and it's a little itty bitty demon. And he goes, I want to win. I want to win the idol. I want to become the superstar. I want to win. And the demon goes, well, can't do that. Not enough. Not a great enough sacrifice. And he goes, well, can you at least guarantee me to go into the audition? He's like, all right, I can do that. Boom. He doesn't do too hot. There's a character.
They portray him as really rough.
Yeah. He's kind of a sleazeball.
Mhm.
He's a daggum sleazeball.
He's a sleazeball, you know?
He's channeling Nick Adams so hard.
He really fucking is.
Listen here, baby.
Listen here, you gabagoo.
And there's a guy. What's his name? Slyman Bowell.
Yeah,
Simon
Cowell.
Slyman Bowell.
A very obvious wordplay on Simon Cowell. And this whole thing is a very obvious wordplay to the early days for American Idol. All of the names are very close relation to the original judges.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good one. It was a nice little punch, little hit on the nose.
They take Simon.
There's a lot of on the nose shit in this.
Yeah, they take Simon Cowell's like serious attitude, and they like bump it up to 100.
Oh,
and
dude.
he's a total dick.
Ruthless.
He's
so
such a dick. And I love it. I love how like ruthless he is, like judging him. He's like, I've heard garbage compactors with better music than this. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Dude, I mean, he's not holding back on this guy. He's going heavy.
No. So they're like, I guess we can give you a shot. And he goes back home, and I believe he accidentally sacrifices his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Because accidentally.
I mean, I'm just saying, if Austin don't accidentally sacrifice his girlfriend for our popularity, I'm sorry.
She is watching. She is watching.
Oh, is she?
She is watching. So
no part in this.
That's not going to happen.
It was a joke.
For legal reasons, this was a joke.
For legal reasons, it was a shitty joke.
It was a shitty joke.
But
please don't let your girlfriend beat me up.
He comes home, sees his girlfriend cleaning the sacrifice circle on the ground, and he gets pissed, and he pushes her. She slips on the soapy water, breaks her neck, and dies right there on the circle. And then boom, a demon shows up, and he's like, did you like want me to like bring her back? And he's like, no. So he just kind of rolls with it, and he goes, "Can I win the idol?" And he's like, "Nah, can't do that. Not a good enough sacrifice." It's like, okay. And then he's like, "Can I at least?" What does he say? "I want to win the."
He said at this point he just wants to get accepted into the
Yeah,
competition
he wanted
itself.
to.
Yeah, he wants to get accepted. Yeah, he wants to get accepted, which he does. He does get accepted, and still Simon Bowell, being a total twat, he doesn't understand why this guy is doing so well. So I think they're going to the finals, right? Yeah, finals.
Yeah, finals, and it's down
And
to a duet.
it's a duet, and he has this partner they just work with, and he's like, this guy's gonna jack up my style. He's like, I'm gonna kill him. He'll be a good sacrifice. And so the demon, he goes, I want to win the idol. Can't do that. What the fuck? So he's like, can I at least win
Make it to the finals. At this point,
can
he
I
wants
make
to
it to the finals? I want to make it to the finals. He's like, okay. He makes it to the finals, and then he wants. Yeah, I think at this point he has to win this, and if he doesn't,
Well, no, he gets into the finals, and then he has to do like a duet.
Mm-hmm.
He has to do the duet with that other guy in order to.
Already...
Oh no, that's past that.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
I'm thinking, I got the time swapped up.
No, you're good. He kills him, and then that's how he's wanting to progress, is by killing him and just going up ahead.
Okay, yeah, no, I had that mixed up. That's my bad.
You're good.
I think now he's got to do the finals, and then he wins.
The demon says that you need the sacrifice of all sacrifices, and he goes, "Well, I'm gonna kill Simon Bowell because he's been pissing me off.
He's a douche.
He's a douche, and he's jacking my style." He goes to kill him, finds out that he's a demon. He's like, well, how the hell do you think I got to this power? I got to this, like, got such fame and power. It's because I'm a demon, stupid. He's like, you win the idol, but you're gonna be playing down in hell where we're gonna torture you for all of eternity.
Mm-hmm.
And then it ends. It ends with him screaming.
See,
it's a good end.
And this is the type of irony that you're gonna find prevalent all throughout these. Tales from the Crypt, of course. The person either gets what gets what they asked for in a fucked up way, or what they did becomes their undoing. Kind of like this. He kept sacrificing people to try and get further and further and further. In the end, he tries to sacrifice Simon Bowell. Of course, finds out he's a demon. Uno reverse cards his ass, kills him, sends him down to hell, kind of gloats on his ass. This is the type of stuff that you are going to find with Tales from the Crypt. It's very enjoyable. It's nice to be like, yeah, that seems like what he deserves type thing. So we get a nice little interjection for the Crypt Keeper, and the old witch makes a nice appearance in this one, which, by the way, she used to have her own streamline going on, but it got canceled, shut down. Tales from the Crypt was a little more popular, so they made her a side character on this. So I'm going to go ahead and toss this one to Austin. The story is called Crystal Clear.
Crystal Clear was interesting. We start off on like a cold open of basically a corpse. Not a corpse yet. Dude, this person is just straight up beat to shit, and we get introduced to Stony. Stony is our scumbag. He is this dude with this weird implant in his eye that's like a video feed / audio feed going to this other guy's phone, which is his buddy, Curly. Yeah, I'm kind of like looking at the comic as I'm going to try to make sure I get names correct.
Yeah.
So essentially, their whole shtick is like he films it, he does it, he catches the film of it, and they have this like illustrious drug biz where they're pretty much just like, hey, we're manipulating everyone, we're controlling everything, and they pretty much have like this death grip over the town. And Stoney ended up going to a funeral of one of their old associates. And there he met Nancy Lee, which is, I believe, a old... I think, wasn't that brother. The guy's... That was his brother?
The dead guy.
That's his brother.
No,
that's his
sister.
That's his sister.
Okay, that's Stoney's sister?
No.
No.
Okay, no, I was about to say, I know I didn't read that wrong because that's getting into like real
it's the dead guy
scum territory.
That's some original trilogy Star Wars shit going on there.
So what essentially ends up happening is that he goes to the funeral and all that, and like, the sister starts to, he starts kind of like swooming in for like the, I'm in distress because my brother died. He's trying to basically just be the nice guy and swoon in and get it in, essentially. And his whole plan is to have it like basically recorded and wired back to Curly, which is pretty messed up, especially with all things considered. One, it's already a scummy act of itself. Two, it's even worse that he's doing it at that time. It's just real scummy. It really shows you the guy is kind of a douche if you didn't figure that out.
But don't forget the cherry on top of live streaming it.
Yeah. Live streaming it is what really makes it like a crummy act. And so basically we go through a couple panels of him going through the motions of wounding her and playing the sympathy card and how much he, appreciates her and how strong she is and all this other beeswax. And they finally get back to his place, and he has like a nice little farmhouse kind of thing where it's a nice house. He has nice cars. He has a nice, nice land, all this other stuff. And they basically get to start doing the business. And then suddenly his little thing goes out. And then he suddenly wakes up lying flat on his back, laying in bed, fully paralyzed. Like, homeboy is straight up paralyzed from the like head down. He can't move a muscle. He can't do anything. Well, this girl knows who this guy is. She knows. She's not dumb. She thinks that she put on this persona of being this helpless, grief-stricken woman. Instead, it comes out being like, yeah, no, I knew who you were this whole time, Chief. I knew exactly what you were doing. And she had this poison syringe. It's a sedative that puts the body in full paralysis and just hits him while he's asleep, and it gives him another dose when he wakes up. So he's fully out of it at this point. She ends up basically telling him the shtick of it, and the whole time, our Stoney is sitting here begging, like, "Hey, like, look, let's work it out. Let's fix this. Everything's all right. I'm not a bad guy here. Like, let's fix the problem." And she doesn't want to hear any of it because she knows the kind of person the guy is. Manipulative. He gets his way. They know he's manipulating the town. So she knows he's just lying. So she ends up dragging him outside. This woman straight up had this thing planned down to a T, man. Has a flatbed truck with a open casket waiting for him outside. She drags him out, tosses him into the empty casket, and then slams it, hits the gas. She starts driving out. And now homeboy here is trying to like contact his buddy through his eye, like trying to like be like, "Hey, I need help. And he can't see anything. He has no idea where he's going. So he can sit there and talk to him, but he doesn't know where he's at. He has no clue where to go to help him. He has no clue about anything. And he's starting to realize how pretty much screwed he is. He is on a whole new level of screwed. She pretty much stops, cracks the casket, and starts telling him, like, "Hey, everyone knows you've been manipulating the town. You've been ruining people's lives. You've just been nothing but a cancer on this town that has been just eating it from the inside out. And your reign of terror is essentially done. And because of your BS, my brother has died, and now he's getting his revenge from the grave." And I believe that's like either like a mud pit or like a swamp or something.
Yeah,
she
it's
pulls
like
up to.
Bog.
Yeah, it's a swamp.
And she straight up just tells him, deuces, pushes him off, casket open into the water. So he can't swim, he can't move, he can't do anything. He slowly starts to sink in this bog. You just see his body just start to sink because he still has that paralysis serum in him. And homie just starts going down, and all his buddy can do is watch. And like the last thing we see is his eye, like the eye that has the camera in it, show a little bit of footage of what's left. and in the last scene shows like a swing of where they all grew up together, and his last sight was that, and the last sight Curly saw was that swing, and then he just feed cuts, our boy's dead, and that is the ultimate irony for this guy, is that he thought he was untouchable and controlled everyone, thought that he had everything, but then he got a taste of his own medicine, of being helpless, of being unable to fight back, of being completely powerless in the situation where he usually would, be the tough guy and have control of everything. But instead, he had nothing. At the end of it all, his hubris got the better of him, and Stoney bites the dust in the bog. And it's a good little revenge story. Good little ironic revenge.
Nice little one. Cameron wasn't really a big fan of this one. Cameron, you want to give some feedback on why?
I just felt it was slow. It was quite slow for me. That, and also I like a lot of the supernatural stuff that comes with Tales of the Crypt, and
this one felt more grounded.
That was more. This was more grounded, which I mean,
That's
for
fair.
some people might really like it. For me, it just didn't catch me.
Well, it was fair. It was grounded for the most part, especially in comparison to the one you reviewed. It was way more in the supernatural realm comparison.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go ahead and take up the next one. You get a nice, classic Tales from the Crypt interjection with the people making their ghoulish puns. Just the normal stuff that you get. And taking up the next story is one called Slabbed. So it opens up to this little kid crying and reaching for a comic book that says Just Us League. Obvious, play on words for Justice League. Like I said, the Tales from the Crypt makes a lot of pokes to pop culture in general. This one takes a lot of pokes to DC. This one and what happens later on in the comic itself, which I'll talk about later. But this kid is reaching up for the Just Us League comic, and his older stepbrother is like, no, this is mine. I'm being a dick. I'm taking this. And the kid's like, well, that's the only thing I have left from my dad. His dad gave it to him and he gave it to me. And he was like, well, seems like your grandpa and your dad are both dead. And my dad married your mom, which means you should give it to me. And we don't get why this guy's being a dick at first. He's just being just a shithead to his little stepbrother. Goes outside and there's this ripped dude out there smoking a cigarette, playing with a knife. He's got Tales from the Crypt tattoo on his arm. And he's basically saying like, hey, where's my money? And you see the stepbrother just kind of cower in fear. Like, you can tell that he was only being a dick because he's being like pinched hard by this bigger fish, basically. And he's like, man, I'm going to go sell this comic book. It's going to give me a lot of good cash. I'm going to come back with the cash. You're going to leave us alone. And they never really allude why he owes this guy money. Probably just bullshit, protection fees or some bullshit. So he goes down to like, it might be drugs, although, I mean, this kid's kind of young. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on this one, okay? So
the hardcore drugs.
The kid goes all the way across town to this collectible shop where he was talking to the owner there, and the owner was saying that he can get him a really good price, up to $200 potentially. So he goes in there and he just sees just mountains of comics, like just shelves stocked with comic books, right? And the owner of the store is talking, and he's like, yeah, I really enjoy collecting heroes. They're great. I have so many comics. I can't wait to, see how well yours is and stuff like that. And he's like, and this one is my pride and joy. And he goes to this one that's got this super high-tech security on it. It's got this huge like glass cylinder that drops on it, and you can only open it with his thumbprint. And it's Pure Evil issue number 1. Barely read, barely touched, like mint condition. This thing's worth a lot. And issue 1 barely touched in a protected safe like that. Yeah. So the kid's like, oh, that's cool. I don't really care. How much can you get me for this? And the dude looks at it, kind of flips through it and goes, there's a lot of wear in this. It's been read a lot. You can tell the color's kind of dulling. The energy is getting lost in it. He's like, I can give you $5. And the kid's like, $5? That's not going to work. I owe this guy $200 potentially. Like, I owe him a lot of money. He's gonna kick my ass type shit. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to fucking kill this guy. So he grabs like the nearest thing, which I'm pretty sure is a crowbar.
It was a crowbar.
I don't know where he gets the crowbar.
Yeah.
I don't know where he gets it, but he got it.
We don't know where he gets it in the comic book store, but he gets a fucking crowbar. And he fucking swings at this guy and goes, you know what? I'll just take it while you're dead. None of your family's going to miss you. I'm going to take this comic. Your family can have the rest of what's in this store so they can sell it and live well. They probably didn't like you anyway. I'm going to take this comic as my payment type shit. Like, this guy's fucked up. He's a little fucked up bitch.
He's a little rat.
So he opens up the case using the guy's thumbprint, takes the Pure Evil issue #1. He's flipping through. He's like, yeah, this is giving me a lot of cash. And he goes to leave. And when he turns to leave, the bookshelves have changed. It's blocking what he thought was the exit. He's like, I thought this was the exit. But it's all these comic books, and all of them are themed to evil not winning and stopping the murderer. And he's like, what's going on? You think you can guilt me? Like, you think you can guilt me into thinking that I should, that what I did was wrong? He's like, you're not winning. And he starts going through this maze, and the comics just keep changing, like a never-ending maze. You know, it just keeps changing on him. And it even shows that, like, the comic book characters on the cover, instead of looking off to the side or doing their own thing, they're looking straight at him the whole time. And he's like, what the fuck is going on? And then you hear the store owner going, I used to collect heroes, but now I'm thinking I'm going to collect villains, as he puts the kid into the comic book itself and puts him as the cover and goes, yeah, I think you're going to start my collection of villains, and puts him up in that collection safe, closes that glass cylinder, as you just get one final look at the collection store with the bump on his head and his, like, deteriorated eye. I thought it was really interesting. Like, it was such a good concept. I got collector vibes. Like, the Collector in Marvel, I got vibes from him. All right.
You want to know what vibes I got, and you're probably going to hate me for it.
Say it, bro.
Got Beetleborg vibes.
I thought you were going to say Kamen Rider. I'm not going to lie, because Kamen Rider throws the card and they get on the card or whatever.
I was thinking Kamen Rider at first, but then I was like, but he doesn't really do, like, comic thing. I was like, it's kind of like Beetleborgs.
Yeah, like Beetleborgs
with, like, the comics, and and they get sucked into the comic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look, I enjoyed our crossover episode for that one. Beetleborgs is not my thing.
What's
yeah,
wrong, Cameron?
So, Cameron just,
you better shut the fuck up.
I'll kill you all.
Cameron, what do you think about the slab story? Boy's shaking. He's very scared.
I liked it. I liked it. I liked it, bitch.
All right.
Give me 1 second. I wanted to go to a certain page.
Pull it up, man. While you're looking for that page, Austin, give us a little quick rating on what you thought of this story itself.
This story was pretty cool.
Now, mind you, we're gonna do the final rating at the end of all these stories.
Yeah. This story individually, it was cool. It was a cool little story. I thought it felt very comic bookish. Like, I felt like if they tried to put that onto, like, live screen or anything like that, I don't feel like it would mesh as well as the other stories would. It felt like a good comic-driven story.
I mean, that's understandable. Like, I enjoy these. I enjoy what I've seen from the Tales from the Crypt show. I don't really see this one translating well because of the special effects that they had available for Tales from the Crypt, the TV show.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's better that this was on print instead of.
But it felt like a comic book style story. You know what I mean? It felt very comic bookish. So to me, it made it even better. So
absolutely,
I liked it. It was fun. It was a fun little read. That was probably one of my other favorites out of this. Like, I liked the first two.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first three. I wasn't a fan of the last one. The other, the other three, I really enjoyed. I liked all of them.
Cameron, did you find that page you're looking for, bro?
Yeah, I did.
I
like
find it.
Yeah. I like how when the kid is running through the maze of comic books, all the people on the cover look like they're staring at him in disgust.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, all of them, instead of, like, looking to the side and doing their own thing, they were, like, looking straight at him. You know.
I love that. I also like how all the titles are referencing, like you said, defeating the bad guy, and like this kid, he's now the bad guy. I love the art style in this too. It's clean. It's pretty detailed. I love the comic store owner. I like the way he looks. Really creepy. And I like the way the kid is now eternally trapped in a comic book forever. I thought this was a very, very good story overall.
I think it was pretty cool. There were a lot of plot holes. Like, this kid really wasn't all that horrible at first. I mean, yes, he stole his stepbrother's comic, who he got from his son or from his dad. But I don't really feel like he crossed over to being like an ultra bad guy until he decided to kill the store owner. And that's when everything flipped on him. And I liked that. I thought it was a really good pace for it. Like, it wasn't really alluding to the fact that he was going to die or get, captured like that until he attacked the store owner. So, on to the last story. We have The Garden, which Austin didn't really like. I'm not sure what Cameron really thought of it, but I enjoyed The Garden.
So for me, I was kind of hooked into the sense of, oh yeah, like we got some pretty decent, like pretty standard supernatural story. You don't really have any explanation for what's happening, but that ending.
Don't spoil it. Let me get into this. So, in The Garden, it opens up to a man showing up to this very well-maintained manor, and it has this beautiful gate that is noted as completely like perfect. Nothing wrong with it. Perfectly oiled. Doesn't creak when you open it. It's just so great.
Yo, Tales. Look at Project Louder real quick. Tales from the Crypt versus Creep Show.
Creep Show.
Tales from the Crypt. Got to support the boy.
Okay, I'll fight you for it.
Gotta support the boy. Gotta support the boy.
I'll fight you for it.
I'll fight you for it.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna fight you for it with me millions of dollars.
Let's go. So he gets into this. He gets past the gate, and there's these beautiful trees, and he takes like one of the fruits out of the trees and bites into it. And he says it's one of the most great things he's ever tasted in his whole life. And you're getting some narration from him talking about how, or no, I think it's from the Crypt Keeper. I think the Crypt Keeper is actually personally narrating this one, and it's describing how this is exactly what he wanted. And he goes inside, and there's 3 maids all dressed kind of skimpy maid like, and they're just taking care of him, doing everything he says. They're like, oh, can I pour you a glass of wine? Let me massage your feet. You had a long trip. Let me rub your shoulders. I guess I can't massage your feet because she's already doing it. They're just going at him, just doing everything he wants. And he's like, dude, this is paradise. And then he takes a drink of the wine and he just spits it out, and there's maggots in the wine. And he looks over his feet, and the chick is like digging screws into his feet. The other chick's attacking him too. He's like scrambling to get away from him. This one's a really fast-paced short story. So he's like scrambling to get away, and he gets to the door that's supposed to lead out. And he's like, what do I do? Like, what do I do? He opens the door, and there's, what do I do, Lord? Kill the child. Corrupt them all.
This is the plan, people. These maids are demons.
So he opens the door, and there's just these shattered wine bottles. And they're like, yeah, that's the only way out. You're just going to have to run through them. And he's just like, no, type thing. He's just so exasperated. But he's like, I got to get away from them. So he runs through, and he gets outside, and there's these gardeners just clipping at the hedges. And he's like, hey, you got to help me. The maids, they're trying to go crazy. They're attacking me. You guys are supposed to listen to what I say. He's like, oh no, that shouldn't be allowed. Or I forget what he says exactly, but he's like, oh no, that's not right. And he's like, yeah, that's what I'm telling you. He's like, they shouldn't be trying to go crazy. And he snaps the hedge clippers at him. And this whole time it's kind of alluding to where he's really at, because he said he was promised that this was something that was supposed to be given to him in exchange for what he did. And the whole story, it's just, it kind of alludes to what he did. At first, it makes you think that he's still alive. But as it goes on, you're like, oh, this dude's fucking dead. And at the very end, it shows that his end of the bargain was when he got onto the bus, he had a bomb vest, and he blew up the entire bus. And everybody at this manor, at this paradise that he was promised, with maids that took care of him, fruit that was the juiciest, most tasty thing you've ever had, beautiful manor that's your own home now. And instead, he's being attacked by the people that were on that bus. All the groundskeepers, all the maids, everybody's replaced by people that were on that bus. And he's stuck in his own version of hell where he's regenerating all the damage they're doing to him so that they can endlessly torture him. In my opinion, it was a good story. The art style, not so much. But it had a really good, you kind of get what you deserve theme to it, which, like I said, is a very prevalent thing in Tales from the Crypt, which is why I enjoy it so much. Now, Double Chin Kaijin, you have some things to say about the art and the story.
Yeah. So, the guy who illustrated this, I don't know the name right off the bat. He did 2 stories in the last Tales from the Crypt comic. And like I said in that one, I personally don't like it. But yet at the same time, I don't believe there are any true bad art styles. It's a unique art style. I'll give him that. It's very blocky, you know. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not my cup of tea. The story though it's short. Like you said, it's very short. And you have this build up and you're kind of always constantly wondering, like, where is he and why is all this happening? And then at the very end it clicks and you're like, oh, he's a suicide bomber. And you're like, oh fuck. And I want to make sure didn't this release 2002?
2007.
2007. Okay.
It's like, oh, he's a suicide bomber. Lit.
Lit. You get what you deserve, fuckface.
That's what you get, homie. Like this like it's always supposed to be horrific. I'm like, nah, no, fuck that guy.
Nah, fuck that guy.
He's a suicide bomber. Get out of here. Get out of here.
And I think that ending where you're like, it all clicks and you're like, oh fuck. I think that works very well. The art style clashes with it, but I think at the same time it sort of works with it. It's hard to describe, but
also, real quick, Freddy siding with me on the Crypt Keeper. Thanks, bro.
My cousin is a traitor.
Your cousin is a traitor, man. I'm sorry.
Traitor!
I mean, it's not
Jesus Christ.
It's not your fault he's right. Okay? Let's just put it at that.
Not your fault. He's right. You're the one who gave fucking Invasion fucking 4 out of 10.
Yeah, true.
Anyway,
sorry, man.
I don't know, man.
Anyway, let's get down to the final rating on this comic. We're gonna rate this out of, let's say, 10 corpses for the ghoulish theme. Austin, what'd you give this, man?
Out of 10 corpses, this film was not. Freddie, shut up.
for our audio listeners, Freddie said Creepshow sucks.
Okay, dude. I didn't think it was bad. I think the stories were good. That last comic, I admit, the art style, I agree with Cameron, was not my personal cup of tea. As far as the story of it goes, the story was fine. The story felt good. It was a good source of revenge. It was a good source of that. You know, everything had a meaning behind it. Everything had a purpose. There was no wasted panel that didn't just fill endless void. All of it brought some sort of story and some sort of arcing, meaning to the short stories it gave. And then nice little explanation finish up with the witches at the end was always a nice little touch. As far as like my first actual experience of Tales from the Crypt on paper, I've seen the show plenty of times, but this is my first experience with it on paper. As far as my very first experience with this, volume 2, I'm going to have to give it, I would say, eight corpses. 8 corpses.
8 out of 10. I can respect that. Double Chin Gaijin, what do you think, bro?
Yeah, that's a mood.
I'm gonna go with Freddie. I was gonna say 6 out of 10. There was only one real like lackluster story, and that was the eyeball one. The eyeball one.
Yeah.
But I think my favorite one out of all of them was the comic the comic store one. That was
The comic one was really good.
that was the best one.
Slab was
Yeah,
really
I would.
good story.
The way I would rank it would be the comic store one, then the very last one with the suicide
Paradise,
bomber,
or the garden.
and then Murder Idol, and then the eyeball one.
See, I'm gonna have to say Slabbed, Murder Idol, then the garden, then the eyeball one.
Okay. But I don't think I've ever seen an entire Tales from the Crypt episode before. I'll have to give it a watch.
We're gonna have to fix that.
Yeah, we'll have
Watch
to
party
fix that
number 2.
it's one of those things where I've kind of always been like, I wonder what that's like. I hear a lot about it. So this is kind of like my first time, well, second time
for you.
Second time getting into it with comic version. And I'm kind of curious to see what differences are between.
I'm just letting you know, if you like B-movie, like cheesy slashers and stuff like that, you will enjoy the TV show version. The TV show version is a lot of B-movie vibes.
I remember seeing some when I was younger. I remember seeing reviews and clips of Tales from the Crypt on YouTube, and it always was very bizarre to me because it was a lot of dark humor. And
it's super outlandish and it has a ton of dark humor.
And I wasn't used to that at the time, and I was like, "What's supposed to be funny about this?"
I'm not used to dark humor. Oh,
yeah,
I'm a little baby.
I was a little shithead at the time, so
nothing's changed. Got it.
No,
Absolutely.
No,
Absolutely not.
nothing has changed.
Are you kidding? No.
So what was your rating out of 10, bro?
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10? All right.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this one through nostalgia goggles. I will give you the 6 out of 10. That's understandable. You being wrong, like you claim I was with Astro Monster. But with my nostalgia towards this, I'm giving it a 9. I enjoy Tales from the Crypt. I always get pumped. I was looking forward to this episode 3 episodes back. Okay. I was hyped about reading another Tales from the Crypt and reviewing it for all of our viewers. I loved our first Tales from the Crypt episode. I thought it was really nice getting to expose you to Tales from the Crypt as far as print goes. TJ only seeing one set of goggles. That's right. Double Chin Gaijin wearing them goggles. But it was nice being able to expose both, the Double Chin Gaijin and Austin to the Tales from the Crypt comic books, which they are good. I enjoy them. They definitely have a super different vibe than what the movies and the TV show has. So take that with a grain of salt. I loved it. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10.
That's fair. I
can respect
as many times as me and Cameron have done these crazy fucking outlandish Godzilla films, and we've given them ridiculously high numbers.
It's only gonna get crazier from here, brother.
It's only gonna get worse, brother.
Brother. Shall we give them the sneak peek of what we're doing next week?
The sneak peek of next week, bro. We already gave them the sneak peek of what next week. Pacific Rim Uprising, G.I. Joe Real American Hero Volume 1, and special guest star TJ Bowser joining us.
Yeah, buddy.
For the next episode. I'm pumped to get
the
it.
audio listeners are going to be like, going to be like, why is it thundering?
Why is it thundering?
Why they're machine gun though?
It ain't me. Anyway, be sure to join us next Sunday on that episode. And as always, your Comics and Kaijus boys end this with a shot of tequila.
See ya, Earthlings.
Let's go.